Writer Ricky Schlott published an article recently titled "The Founding Fathers: 6 Prophetic Warnings That Are Coming True." She talked about from George Washington to Thomas Jefferson and how the Founding Fathers have given Americans a great framework for success, and at the same time, they've also left us a prophetic warnings of how our country could go wrong. Now, the chilling reality is that's unfolding in front of us in the past year seems to be proving that at least 6 of these warnings are coming true. Now, the article is worth reading, but it's pretty long, so I will share some key points with you here and post the link in the description for you to read later. Warning number 1. In 1787, Franklin warned people before the Constitutional Convention in Philadelphia of the danger of a generously salaried Congress. He said men's love of power and money will make them move heaven and earth to obtain both. But Franklin's concerns didn't get enough attention. Today, members of Congress receive a base salary of $174,000 a year. That's above 90% of American earners. This does not count additional annual allowances, which can run into the millions. Political office has evolved from a civil service to a lucrative path. We're afraid that the majority of today's congressmen are career politicians driven by money and influence. Warning number 2. Thomas Jefferson expressed concern over the politicization of judicial power in a letter he wrote in 1821, and he said, "Our government is now taking so steady a course as to show by what road it will pass to destruction, to wit, by consolidation first and then corruption. The engine of consolidation will be the federal judiciary, the 2 other branches, the corrupting and the corrupted instruments." Schrodt wrote, "Our founding fathers envisioned a Supreme Court that would safeguard the Constitution regardless of the political affiliation. But only 17% of Americans reported a great deal of trust in the Supreme Court in 2020. The last line of defense for justice is failing the people." Warning number 3. The next warning from James Madison might be the most relevant to today's America. In Madison's autobiography, he outlined the preconditions necessary for tyrannical rule. Oppressors can tyrannize only when they achieve a standing army, an enslaved press, and a disarmed populace. Now, by Madison's assertion, we are really not that far from a tyrannical rule. Our government owns the army and has an extreme partisan mainstream media working for it. It seems Americans only have their guns left. Schultz thinks the press divides politicians between those who can do no right and those who can do no wrong. Today, 1 in 3 Americans report no trust at all in the media. Warning number 4. On September 17, 1796, George Washington left the presidency with a grim warning about a party-based political system at his farewell address. However, political factions may now and then answer popular ends. They are likely in the course of time and things to become potent engines by which cunning, ambitious, and unprincipled men will be enabled to subvert the power of the people and to usurp themselves the reins of government, destroying afterwards the very engines which have lifted them to unjust dominion. Many people say America has never been so divided like today. The article says, just as Washington predicted, politicians are operating for the betterment of their party and thus have lost sight of their common goal, to serve the American people. To get a vivid example, Schultz mentioned that the coronavirus relief bill, which runs thousands of pages long, was filled with non-relevant contentious contingencies to fulfill partisan agendas. Warning number 5. At a 1755 Pennsylvania assembly, Benjamin Franklin criticized readiness to relinquish liberties. Those who would give up essential liberty to purchase a little temporary safety deserves neither liberty nor safety. There is perhaps no better example of liberty being relinquished for the sake of safety than during the pandemic. Despite an evolving body of data and an extremely low fatality rate among those not at risk, the nation is nearing a year of shutdowns with no end in sight. The article criticizes that the authorities are exercising unprecedented power under the guise of safety. It is not just liberty which is at stake. The prolonged shutdown of the country is destroying our economy and harming the next generation. Warning number 6. In a 1777 letter to his wife Abigail, John Adams lamented that the sacrifices made by America's founding generation might be forgotten by their descendants. Posterity, you will never know how much it cost my generation to preserve your freedom. I hope you will make good use of it. If you do not, I shall repent in heaven that I ever took half the pains to preserve it. It's not that Americans have forgotten the sacrifices made by their founding fathers. The heartbreaking truth is they are not being told. Only 18% of 8th grade students are proficient in American history, and just 7% of Americans can name the first 4 presidents, including John Adams. We didn't preserve the history well for our children. They took liberty more for granted, and now people are giving up their freedom for their short-lived security. Some people are still working hard on preserving our precious freedom. For example, Ross Vogt is the former deputy director of the Office of Management and Budget under President Trump, and Ben Carson, the former United States Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, and of course, Trump himself and many more courageous people. Ross Vogt told Daily Caller that he had set up a think tank called the Center for American Restoration for the purpose of helping both leftists and conservatives agree on what America is. Our mission is to restore a consensus in America that we're a country under God with unique interests that flow from our people, our history, and our institutions. Vogt said, only those who live in a healthy society with enduring justice are better able to have individual freedom. Vogt believes it is the division over fundamental ideological issues that have caused America to be so divided today. The solution to these problems is not to run away or retreat from them, but to debate sensibly. Therefore, his think tank will promote these debates at the grassroots, congressional, and media levels. The plan of the center is to win back the left in a way that cares about the other side, not necessarily in agreement, but not in a hateful way. Vogt also suggests everyone to engage in similar discussions with their friends, family, and neighbors in their own environments. Ben Carson was a Republican candidate for president in 2016 and the former Housing and Urban Development Secretary and the one of the 4 cabinet members to serve Trump for the full term. In February, he launched a new conservative think tank called American Cornerstone Institute. One of the things that Carson will be concentrating on is election integrity. He said during a recent interview, if we don't get election integrity restored, then we're going to have a monopoly and it's going to go on forever and just get worse. Carson said, it's going to sound kind of strange, but in a way, it's kind of good that the Democrats are in control because people can actually see who they are and what it is that they're trying to do. I don't think most people would have believed it if it hadn't happened. It is happening and everyone can see it, and once they get over their shot, I think resistance will begin to grow very significant. Carson believes eventually there will be a big backlash. In terms of the current rampant cancel culture, Carson stressed the importance of freedom of speech. That's a reason that people came to this country from all over the world, because they want to escape tyrannical governments that try to control every aspect of their life. However, he commented, a tyranny is exactly where we're heading.